There comes a moment in your life when everything goes quiet. Not around you, but inside you. A moment where you start to see things clearly, brutally clearly. You realize that the chaos, the stress, the anxiety, the constant overthinking, it's not coming from the world. It's coming from you. Not because you're weak, but because you've never been taught how to control your mind. From a young age, you were taught how to read, how to write, how to survive in society. But no one taught you how to deal with your thoughts. No one warned you that your own mind could become your greatest enemy if left undisciplined. And so slowly, over time, that inner voice began to take control. It whispered doubt when you wanted to take action. It created fear when opportunity showed up. It replayed your failures and made you relive them again and again. And the worst part? You believed it. You started identifying with those thoughts, thinking they were you, thinking that voice was the truth. But here's the reality most people never realize. That voice has been lying to you. It exaggerates your fears. It magnifies your weaknesses. It keeps you comfortable, stuck, and small. And every time you listen to it, you give away a little more control over your life. Look around you. Most people are trapped in their own minds. They hesitate when they should act. They doubt when they should believe. They overthink until opportunities pass them by, not because they lack potential, but because they lack mental discipline. But you're here right now for a reason. Something inside you knows there's more. More control, more clarity, more strength. And deep down, you're tired. Tired of second-guessing yourself, tired of negative thinking holding you back, tired of feeling like you're capable of more, but never fully stepping into it. That frustration? That's not weakness. That's awareness. And awareness is the first step toward transformation. Because once you see the problem, you can't unsee it. And today, you're about to take that next step. In this video, we're not going to sugarcoat anything. There will be no soft motivation, no empty advice, no temporary fixes. What you're about to hear are timeless, brutal truths rooted in Stoic philosophy, principles practiced by one of history's most powerful minds, Marcus Aurelius. These laws are not designed to comfort you. They are designed to challenge you, to strip away illusions, to force you to confront the way you think. Because the truth is, your life will not change until your mind does. And once your mind changes, everything else follows. So if you're ready to stop being controlled by your thoughts, if you're ready to silence that negative voice once and for all, if you're ready to become disciplined, focused, and mentally unshakable, stay with me. Because what you're about to learn will not just change how you think. It will change who you become. And before we go any further, if you're serious about mastering your mindset and becoming the strongest version of yourself, make sure you subscribe to Unshaken Mind. Because on this channel, we don't chase comfort. We build power. Now let's begin. Law 1. You suffer more in your mind than in reality. Take a moment and think about this carefully. How much of your stress today is coming from something that is actually happening right now, versus something your mind is imagining, replaying, or exaggerating? Because if you're honest, you'll realize something uncomfortable. Most of your suffering isn't real. It's psychological. It's the argument that already ended, but you're still replaying it in your head. It's the mistake you made years ago. but you keep reliving it like it happened yesterday. It's the future scenario that hasn't even happened, but you're already afraid of it. This is how negative thinking traps you. Your mind takes neutral events and turns them into emotional burdens. It builds stories, assumptions, and worst-case scenarios, and then convinces you they're true. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius warned about. He understood that people don't suffer because of events themselves. They suffer because of the meaning they attach to those events. Lose a job? Your mind says, "I'm a failure." Someone ignores you. Your mind says, "I'm not respected." Something doesn't go your way. Your mind says, "Everything is falling apart." But look closely. Those are not facts. Those are interpretations. And interpretations can be wrong. The Stoics believed in a powerful principle. Separate the event from the story. The event is simple, clean, neutral. The story is emotional, distorted, often false. For example, the event: someone didn't reply to your message. The story: they're ignoring me. They don't respect me. I did something wrong. Do you see the difference? One is reality. The other is imagination. And yet most people live inside the story. This is why your mind feels heavy, because it's not just dealing with reality. It's dealing with hundreds of imaginary problems it created on its own. But here's where your power begins. The moment you pause and ask yourself, is this actually happening? Or am I creating this in my head? You interrupt the cycle. You create distance between you and your thoughts. And in that space, you regain control. Instead of reacting emotionally, you start observing logically. Instead of spiraling, you stabilize. Instead of assuming, you question. This doesn't mean you ignore real problems. It means you stop adding unnecessary suffering to them, because pain in life is inevitable. But psychological suffering? That's optional. Think about that. Two people can go through the exact same situation and experience completely different levels of suffering. Why? Because one controls their mind, and the other is controlled by it. The one who suffers less is not luckier. They are more disciplined in how they think. And this is where you must become ruthless. You cannot allow every thought to take control of your emotions. You cannot let your mind run wild without questioning it. You cannot keep believing everything you think. You must train yourself to pause, to step back, to observe. Every time a negative thought appears, challenge it. Is this fact or fear? Is this happening now, or am I projecting? Am I reacting to reality, or to my interpretation of it? These questions are simple, but they are powerful enough to break mental patterns that have controlled you for years. And the more you practice this, the quieter your mind becomes. Not because problems disappear, but because you stop feeding them with unnecessary thoughts. You stop turning small issues into big ones. You stop creating problems that don't exist. You stop suffering twice, once in reality and once in your imagination. This is mental discipline, and it starts with awareness. So from this moment forward, watch your thoughts carefully. Not everything your mind tells you deserves your attention. Not every feeling deserves your reaction. Not every scenario deserves your energy. Because once you truly understand this law, you'll realize something powerful. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest prison. And the difference is how you choose to use it. Law 2. Control what you can. Ignore the rest. If there is one law that can instantly bring peace into your life, it is this one. Because most of your stress, frustration, and negative thinking comes from a single mistake. You are trying to control things that were never yours to control. Think about how much energy you waste every day, worrying about what people think of you, overanalyzing situations that are already out of your hands, stress about the future, trying to predict outcomes that haven't even happened, holding on to the past, wishing you could change something that is already gone. This is mental exhaustion. And the truth is harsh, but freeing. You are fighting battles you can never win. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics understood at the deepest level. They divided life into two simple categories: what you can control and what you cannot. That's it. And yet most people reverse it. They ignore what they can control, like their habits, discipline, mindset, and obsess over what they cannot, like opinions, outcomes, and external events. This is why they feel powerless. But the moment you flip this, everything changes. Let's break it down clearly. You cannot control other people's opinions, whether someone respects you or not, what happens tomorrow, how others behave, unexpected events, the past. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, your discipline, your effort, your standards. And that's where your power is. Right now, your mind might be running in circles about something outside your control. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's a situation. Maybe it's uncertainty about your future. Pause. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, then every second you spend thinking about it is wasted energy. Let it go. Not because it doesn't matter, but because you cannot change it. And holding on to it will only weaken you. This is not passivity. This is strength, because it takes discipline to release what you cannot control. Most people can't do it. They cling to things. They obsess. They stress themselves into exhaustion. But not you. You're learning to think differently. You're learning to protect your mental energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Imagine what your life would feel like if you truly lived by this law. No more overthinking people's opinions. No more anxiety about things you can't change. No more wasted energy on situations beyond your control. Instead, clarity, focus, calm. You wake up and direct your energy only toward what actually matters. Your goals, your growth, your discipline, your actions. And this is where your life begins to shift. Because success, real success, is built on controlled effort, not uncontrolled worry. Every time you choose to focus on what you can control, you take your power back. Every time you let go of what you cannot control, you free your mind. This is how you rewire yourself. Not overnight, but through repetition. Your mind will resist at first. It will try to pull you back into worry, fear, and overthinking. That's normal. But every time it happens, bring it back. What can I do right now? If there is something you can do it immediately. If there is nothing you can do, release it completely. No middle ground. No half holding on to it. Because half control creates full anxiety. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't need more time. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need approval. You need focus. And focus only comes when you eliminate distractions, including mental ones. Your mind becomes powerful when it is directed, not scattered. So from this moment forward, live by this rule. Give 100% of your energy to what is in your control, and 0% to what is not. That alone will separate you from most people. While others are stressed, you will be calm. While others are distracted, you will be focused. While others are complaining, you will be improving. And that's how you win. Not by controlling everything, but by mastering the only thing you ever truly could. Yourself. Law 3. Your thoughts are not you. This law will change everything if you truly understand it. Right now, there is a voice in your head. It comments on everything you do. It judges your actions. It reminds you of your past. It predicts your future. And for most of your life, you've believed that voice is you. But it's not. It's just your mind speaking. And that distinction is powerful. Because the moment you realize that your thoughts are not your identity, you create space. And in that space, you gain control. Think about it. If every thought you had was true, then every fear would be real. Every doubt would define you, and every negative idea would be your destiny. But that's not how reality works. Your mind is like a machine. It produces thoughts constantly, automatically, and without permission. Some of them are useful. Many of them are not. And yet, most people blindly accept every thought as truth. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I always mess things up. People don't respect me. These thoughts feel real, but they are not facts. They are patterns. They are habits. They are echoes of past experiences, fears, and conditioning. And if you don't question them, they will control you. This is why Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to step back from his thoughts, to observe them instead of becoming them. Because when you observe a thought, you weaken its power. Imagine you're sitting in a quiet place, watching clouds pass through the sky. Each cloud is a thought. Some are dark and heavy. Some are light and harmless. Some move quickly. Some linger. But no matter what, they all pass. You don't chase them. You don't hold on to them. You don't become them. You just watch. That is how you must treat your thoughts. Because the moment you attach yourself to a negative thought, it grows. You feed it with attention. You strengthen it with emotion. You turn it into a belief. And beliefs shape your actions. Actions shape your life. So if your thoughts are negative, your life will follow. But if you learn to separate yourself from those thoughts, you break the cycle. Here's the truth most people never realize. You are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. Read that again. You are not your fear. You are aware of your fear. You are not your doubt. You are aware of your doubt. You are not your anxiety. You are aware of your anxiety. And awareness is power. Because what you are aware of, you can change. This is where mental freedom begins. Not by eliminating thoughts, but by changing your relationship with them. You stop reacting automatically. You stop believing everything instantly. You stop letting your mind drag you into negativity. Instead, you pause. A negative thought appears, and instead of accepting it, you question it. Is this absolutely true? Where is the evidence? Is this helping me or hurting me? And just like that, the thought loses its grip. Because most negative thoughts cannot survive scrutiny. They are built on fear, not facts, on assumption, not reality. And the more you challenge them, the weaker they become. But this takes practice. Your mind has been conditioned for years, maybe decades, to think a certain way. You won't change it overnight. But every time you choose not to engage with a negative thought, You rewire your brain. Every time you observe instead of react, you grow stronger. Every time you refuse to believe a limiting idea, you take your power back. And over time, something incredible happens. The noise in your mind begins to fade. Not completely, but enough for you to hear something deeper. Clarity, focus, purpose. Because when your mind is no longer filled with uncontrolled thoughts, you create space for intentional ones. You begin to choose what you think. You begin to direct your mindset instead of being controlled by it. And that is the difference between a weak mind and a strong one. A weak mind reacts to every thought. A strong mind selects which thoughts deserve attention. So from this moment forward, remember this. Not every thought is important. Not every thought is true. Not every thought deserves your energy. You have the ability to step back, to observe, to decide. And that ability is your greatest strength. Because once you master your thoughts, you master your life. You become calm in chaos, focused in distraction, confident in uncertainty. You stop being controlled, and you start being in control. And that is what it means to truly rewire your mind. So the next time a negative thought enters your head, don't fight it. Don't fear it. Don't become it. Just watch it and let it pass. Because you are not your thoughts. You are something far more powerful. The one who chooses what to do with them. Law 4. Embrace discomfort. It builds mental strength. Let's be honest. Most people don't have a negative thinking problem. They have a comfort addiction. They avoid anything that feels hard, uncertain, or uncomfortable, and then wonder why their mind is filled with fear, doubt, and anxiety. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you weaken your mind. You train yourself to run away instead of facing life. And a mind that runs away from discomfort will always be controlled by it. Think about it. Why do you overthink? Why do you hesitate? Why do you doubt yourself? It's not because you're incapable. It's because you're not used to discomfort. Your mind has been conditioned to seek ease, avoid risk, and stay safe. And while that might feel good in the moment, it slowly destroys your confidence. Because confidence is not built in comfort. Confidence is built in challenge. This is what the Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, understood deeply. They didn't train their minds in easy conditions. They prepared themselves for difficulty. They practiced hardship. They embraced struggle. They exposed themselves to discomfort. On purpose. Why? Because they knew something most people ignore. The more comfortable you are, the weaker you become. The more discomfort you can handle, the stronger you become. It's that simple. Every time you avoid a difficult task, your mind learns. I can't handle this. Every time you face it, your mind learns. I am stronger than this. And over time, those small moments define you. Let's break this down in real life. Waking up early when you don't feel like it. That's discomfort. Going to the gym when you're tired. That's discomfort. Having a difficult conversation. That's discomfort. Taking a risk when there's no guarantee. That's discomfort. These are the moments where your mind is tested. And most people fail, not because they can't do it, but because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. But you are different. You're here because you want to grow, and growth requires friction. It requires resistance. It requires you to step into situations where you don't feel fully ready, and act anyway. Because here's the truth. you will never feel ready. If you wait for comfort, you will wait forever. The people you admire, the ones who seem confident, disciplined, and mentally strong, they are not special. They've just trained themselves to act despite discomfort. They've built a tolerance for it. They've learned to sit in it, move through it, and use it. And you can do the same. But it starts with a shift in mindset. Stop seeing discomfort as something to avoid. Start seeing it as a signal that you're growing, a signal that you're stepping out of your old patterns, a signal that you're becoming stronger. Because every time you feel discomfort, you are standing at the edge of transformation. And most people turn back, but not you. You lean forward. You step into it. You embrace it. Because you understand that on the other side of discomfort is everything you want: confidence, discipline, clarity, strength. And the more you expose yourself to it, the less power it has over you. At first, it will feel intense. Your mind will resist. It will try to convince you to quit. It will tell you it's too hard. But that's just your old conditioning speaking. Ignore it. Push through. Because every time you do something hard, you rewire your brain. You prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. And slowly, something changes. The things that once felt difficult become normal. The things that once scared you lose their power. The things you once avoided become your advantage. This is how mental strength is built. Not in comfort, not in ease, but in repeated exposure to difficulty. And here's where it becomes powerful. When you become comfortable with discomfort, negative thinking starts to disappear. Because fear no longer controls you. Uncertainty no longer stops you. Challenges no longer intimidate you. You stop overthinking because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. You stop doubting because you've built proof through action. You stop hesitating because you've trained yourself to move forward no matter what. That is real confidence. Not loud, not arrogant, but quiet, solid, unshakable. So from this moment forward, make a decision. Do not run from discomfort. Seek it. When something feels hard, do it. When something feels uncomfortable, lean into it. When your mind tells you to quit, stay. Because that's where the growth is. That's where the transformation happens. That's where you become the person you were meant to be. And one day, you'll look back and realize something incredible. The things you once feared built you. The discomfort you once avoided shaped you. And the challenges you once resisted became the reason you are strong. So don't ask for an easier life. Build a stronger mind. And let discomfort become your training ground. Law 5. Stop seeking validation from others. There is a silent prison that most people live in, and they don't even realize it. It has no walls, no chains, no guards, and yet it controls their decisions, their confidence, and their entire life. That prison is the need for validation, the need to be liked, the need to be accepted, the need to be approved by others before taking action. And here's the brutal truth. The moment you start living for other people's opinions, you stop living for yourself. Think about how often you hold back because of what others might think. You don't speak your mind because you're afraid of judgment. You don't take risks because you're afraid of failure being seen. You don't fully express yourself because you want to fit in. So instead of becoming who you truly are, you become a version of yourself that is acceptable. And that is where negative thinking thrives. Because when your self-worth depends on others, your mind becomes unstable. One compliment makes you feel high. One criticism makes you feel worthless. You are constantly reacting, constantly adjusting, constantly seeking approval. That is not strength. That is dependence. This is what Marcus Aurelius rejected completely. He understood that chasing approval is a losing game. Why? Because people are inconsistent. Their opinions change. Their perceptions are limited. Their judgments are often based on their own insecurities, not your reality. So why would you give them control over how you feel about yourself? Read that again. Why would you hand over your self-worth to people who are still figuring out their own lives? It doesn't make sense. And yet most people do it every day. They measure their value based on likes, attention, praise, and external recognition. But here's the truth that will set you free. Validation is temporary. Self-respect is permanent. When you depend on validation, you will always need more of it. More approval, more recognition, more reassurance. But it will never be enough, because it's not coming from within. And anything that doesn't come from within will never fully satisfy you. This is why you must shift your focus. Stop asking, "What do people think of me?" Start asking, "Am I living according to my values?" Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Did you act with integrity? Did you stay true to yourself? Did you do what you believed was right? If the answer is yes, then nothing else matters. Not opinions, not criticism, not approval. This is where real confidence is built, not from external praise, but from internal alignment. You respect yourself because you know your actions are aligned with your principles. And that kind of confidence cannot be shaken. It doesn't rise and fall based on what people say. It doesn't depend on attention. It doesn't need validation. It stands on its own. But to reach that level, you must be willing to let go. Let go of the need to be liked by everyone. Let go of the fear of judgment. Let go of the desire to please people at the cost of yourself. Because the truth is, no matter what you do, not everyone will like you. And that's okay. In fact, it's necessary, because trying to please everyone will only make you lose yourself. And losing yourself is the worst outcome of all. So instead, focus on becoming someone you respect. Speak honestly, even if your voice shakes. Act boldly, even if people misunderstand you. Move forward, even if others doubt you. Because your life is not meant to be controlled by the opinions of others. It is meant to be directed by your own standards. And here's something powerful to remember. The people who spend their lives judging you are not building anything meaningful themselves. They are spectators, and you are the one in the arena. So why would you let spectators dictate how you perform? You don't. You focus on your path. You focus on your growth. You focus on becoming better every single day. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You become free. Free from comparison. Free from fear. Free from the constant need for approval. You start making decisions based on purpose, not pressure. You start living with intention, not hesitation. You start becoming who you were meant to be, not who others expect you to be. And that is power. So from this moment forward, make this decision. Do not seek validation. Earn your own respect. Because when you respect yourself, you don't need anyone else to approve of you. And that is when your mind becomes truly unshakable. Law 6. Accept that life is hard, and that's okay. there is a silent expectation that most people carry, an expectation that quietly shapes their emotions, their reactions, and their mindset. It's the belief that life should be easy, that things should go according to plan, that success should come without too much struggle, that pain, failure, and difficulty are signs that something is wrong. But this belief is a lie, and it is the source of endless frustration. Because when you expect life to be easy, every challenge feels like an injustice. Every setback feels personal. Every obstacle feels like proof that you're failing. But here is the truth that will change everything. Life is not supposed to be easy. It never was. From the beginning of time, struggle has been part of the human experience. Growth has always required resistance. Progress has always demanded effort. And the sooner you accept this, the sooner you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. This is what Marcus Aurelius understood deeply. He didn't wake up expecting comfort. He woke up expecting challenge. He reminded himself daily that he would face difficult people, unexpected problems, and moments of discomfort. Not because life was unfair, but because that is the nature of life itself. And because he expected it, he was never shocked by it. This is where most people struggle. They're not prepared for difficulty. So when it arrives, and it will, they resist it. They complain, they overthink, they ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But that question keeps you stuck, because it assumes that something is wrong. Instead, ask a better question. What is this teaching me? That single shift transforms everything. Because now, instead of seeing difficulty as an obstacle, you begin to see it as a training ground. Every challenge becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes feedback. Every failure becomes an opportunity to grow stronger. And this is where your mindset evolves. You stop chasing an easy life, and you start building a strong mind. Because here's the reality. An easy life does not create a powerful person. A comfortable path does not build resilience. A smooth journey does not prepare you for anything meaningful. Strength is built in resistance. Discipline is built in struggle. Clarity is built in chaos. And the people you admire, the ones who are calm under pressure, focused in uncertainty, and strong in adversity, they didn't get there by avoiding difficulty. They got there by facing it, again and again, until it no longer broke them, but built them. And you have that same ability within you. But it requires a decision to stop running from hardship and start accepting it. Not with frustration, but with understanding. Not with resistance, but with readiness. Because when you accept that life is hard, something powerful happens. You stop being surprised. You stop taking things personally. You stop expecting perfection. You stop feeling like you're constantly falling behind. Instead, you become steady, grounded, prepared. You understand that setbacks are part of the path, not signs to quit. And that understanding gives you strength. Because now, when things go wrong, you don't panic. You adjust. You adapt. You move forward. And that is what separates strong minds from weak ones. A weak mind collapses under pressure. A strong mind expects pressure and rises through it. So when you face difficulty, and you will, remind yourself, this is part of it. When things don't go your way, this is part of it. When you feel tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed, this is part of it. Not as a form of resignation, but as a form of acceptance. Because acceptance is not weakness. It is clarity. It allows you to stop wasting energy fighting reality and start using that energy to move through it. And here's where it becomes even more powerful. When you accept that life is hard, you begin to appreciate it more. You appreciate the progress you make. You appreciate the lessons you learn. You appreciate the strength you build along the way. Because you know it wasn't given to you easily. You earned it. Every step forward becomes meaningful. Every victory becomes deeper. Every moment becomes more valuable. And this is how you transform your perspective. You stop seeing life as something that should serve you, and start seeing it as something that shapes you. And when you adopt that mindset, negative thinking loses its foundation. Because you're no longer expecting comfort. You're expecting growth. You're no longer avoiding difficulty. You're embracing it. You're no longer asking for an easier path. You're becoming stronger for the path ahead. So from this moment forward, make this your standard. Do not wish for a life without problems. Wish for the strength to handle them. Do not ask for things to be easier. Train yourself to be better. Because the truth is, life will test you, again and again. But those tests are not there to break you. They are there to reveal you, to show you who you are and who you are capable of becoming. And if you rise to meet them, if you accept the challenge instead of resisting it, you will build a mind that cannot be shaken, a mind that does not crumble under pressure, a mind that does not fear difficulty, a mind that stands firm no matter what life throws at it. And that is true power. Law 7. Memento mori. Remember you will die. This is the law most people avoid, the one that feels uncomfortable, heavy, even frightening. But it is also the law that has the power to awaken you more than anything else. One day, you will die. Not someday far away in a distant future you can ignore. Not as an abstract idea, but as a real, unavoidable truth. Your time here is limited. And when you truly understand that, not just intellectually but deeply, it changes everything about how you think, how you act, and how you live. This is what the Stoics practiced constantly, especially Marcus Aurelius, who reminded himself daily of death, not to become fearful, but to become focused. Because when you remember that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. Think about how much of your life is spent on things that don't matter. Overthinking small problems, worrying about people's opinions, holding on to past regrets, hesitating instead of acting. Now imagine this. If you knew you had 1 year left to live, would you still waste your energy the same way? Would you still care so much about what others think? Would you still delay your goals? Would you still let fear control your decisions? Or would you finally start living with urgency, clarity, and purpose? This is the gift of memento mori. It cuts through illusion. It reminds you that time is your most valuable resource, and once it's gone forever. And suddenly, your priorities change. You stop chasing meaningless validation. You stop entertaining negative thoughts that lead nowhere. You stop postponing your life. You start acting, because you understand something most people ignore. There is no perfect time. There is no guarantee of tomorrow. There is only now, and now is all you ever truly have. This realization is not meant to make you anxious. It is meant to wake you up, to push you out of hesitation and into action. Because the truth is, most people live as if they have unlimited time. They delay their dreams. They avoid difficult decisions. They stay in situations that drain them. They keep saying, I'll do it later. But later is not promised. And deep down, you already know that. You've felt it. That quiet awareness that time is moving, that life is passing, that moments are slipping away, whether you act or not. So the question becomes, what are you going to do with the time you have? Are you going to continue letting negative thoughts control you? Are you going to keep overthinking, doubting, and hesitating? Or are you going to take control and start living intentionally? Because memento mori demands a decision. It forces you to confront the reality that your life is finite, and therefore valuable. And when something is valuable, you don't waste it. You protect it. You invest it. You use it wisely. Every day becomes an opportunity to improve, to grow, to take action, to become better than you were yesterday. And suddenly, small problems lose their importance. That embarrassment you keep replaying, it doesn't matter. That fear that's holding you back, it loses its grip. That opinion someone has about you, it becomes irrelevant. Because in the face of time, all of that is insignificant. What matters is how you live. What matters is how you show up every day. What matters is whether you are moving forward or standing still. This is where your power comes from. Not from pretending death doesn't exist, but from using it as fuel. Fuel to act when you feel afraid. Fuel to move when you feel stuck. Fuel to focus when your mind is distracted. Because every moment you hesitate is a moment you don't get back. And once you truly understand that, you stop playing small. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for confidence. You stop waiting for the right time. You create the right time, right now. And this is how your mind becomes unshakable. Not because life becomes easier, but because you become more aware, more intentional, more disciplined, more alive. You begin to live with purpose. You make decisions that align with who you want to become, not what feels comfortable in the moment. You take action even when it's hard, because you know time is limited, and that awareness gives you strength. So from this moment forward, remember this: you will not live forever. Let that truth guide you, not scare you. Let it remind you to focus on what matters, to let go of what doesn't, to act instead of hesitate. Because one day, this opportunity will be gone. But today, you still have time. Time to change, time to act, time to become. So don't waste it. Use it. Live with urgency. Live with clarity. Live with purpose. And most importantly, live in a way that, when your time finally comes, you can look back and say, I didn't let fear control me. I didn't let doubt stop me. I didn't waste my life. I lived. And that is the ultimate victory. Now take a moment and really think about everything you've just heard. These are not just ideas. They are not just words meant to motivate you for a few minutes. These are laws, timeless principles that have shaped some of the strongest, most disciplined minds in history. Principles that, if applied, can completely transform the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately, the way you live. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Watching this video is not enough. Understanding these laws is not enough. Even agreeing with them is not enough. Because your life will not change based on what you know. It will change based on what you do. And that is where most people fall short. They watch. They feel inspired. They say, this makes sense. And then they go back to the same patterns, the same overthinking, the same fear, the same hesitation, But you are not here to be like most people. You didn't watch this entire video just to stay the same. You're here because something inside you is ready to change. Ready to break free from negative thinking. Ready to take control of your mind. Ready to become stronger, sharper, and more disciplined. And that change starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now, because the longer you wait, the longer your old habits stay in control. So make a decision, right here, right now. Decide that you will no longer let your thoughts control you. Decide that you will no longer run from discomfort. Decide that you will no longer seek validation from people who don't define your life. Decide that you will take ownership. Because the moment you take ownership, everything shifts. You stop blaming. You stop complaining. You stop waiting. And you start acting. Even if it's small. Even if it's uncomfortable. Even if it's imperfect. Because progress is built on action, not perfection. And every step you take forward, no matter how small, is a step away from the person you used to be. Now listen carefully. If this video spoke to you, if something in it resonated with you, if you felt that shift in your mindset even slightly, then don't let this be where it ends. Because building a strong mind is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's something you train consistently. And that's exactly why this channel exists. So if you're serious about becoming mentally unshakable, if you want to keep growing, keep improving, and keep pushing yourself beyond your limits, subscribe to Unshaken Mind right now. Because this is not just a channel. This is a mindset, a standard, a place where weak thinking is challenged and strong thinking is built. And if you truly understand what you've learned today, then prove it. Go down to the comments right now and write, "I control my mind." Not just as words, but as a commitment, a declaration of the person you are becoming. Because from this moment forward, you are no longer the same. You are more aware, more focused, more in control, and awareness is the beginning of power. So carry these laws with you. Apply them when it's difficult. Remember them when your mind starts to drift. Use them when life tests you. And it will, because those tests are not there to break you. They are there to reveal your strength. And if you stay disciplined, if you stay focused, if you stay committed to growth, there is no limit to who you can become. So don't go back to your old mindset. Don't fall back into old patterns. Move forward, stronger, sharper, unshaken. And remember, your mind is your greatest weapon. Train it, master it, and use it to build the life you deserve.